Okay, guys. So till now, we have covered project preparation and business blueprint. We are talking about project phase. So as we know, like project phases, five phases are there: project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, go live, and support. So out of five, like first and second phase, I have covered. Now we'll start from third phase. What is happening in third phase? So that is called a realization phase. In first phase, what is happening? Project manager is going to decide the team size and team member, and then project goals and objective. In the sense, like he'll be planning for the project planning, and the third thing is like kickoff meeting is going to be taking place. In second phase, generally, whatever the documents are there, that will be prepared as is to be, and finally blueprint document will be prepared with a discussion with the clients and all, and a sign off will be taken place. Once the blueprint will get sign off, and or else once the blueprint got signed, it means client has given the final approval, and then we are moving for the further phase, in the sense next phase. So the third phase is called realization phase. Now in this phase, what activity we are going to perform, that I'll explain. Generally, in realization phase, we are going to start configuration. In the sense, like till now, guys, whatever activities were performed, those activities were like on a piece of paper itself. We were say for example, it was like a kind of planning we were making, like what activity we have to perform and other things. So these all things we were drawing, our whatever this future activities were there on a piece of paper. But now it's time to materialize these all things. It's time to map these all activity in SAP. So how we are going to map these all activity in SAP? With the help of configuration. Certain configuration we have to do in SAP. So we have to start the practical session. In the sense, till now we have a discussions and we have drawn each and everything on a paper, and now as per that, whatever things we have committed to deliver to the client, these all things we have to configure and we have to deliver. So the first activity we are going to do, configuration. If you talk about configuration, once I start your practical session, then entire session will be based on configuration itself. So you are going to be very much comfortable in configurations and all. What to configure, how to configure, the next entire session will be there on that itself. Now, so the first activity we perform is configuration. And what we are going to configure, whatever things we have committed in blueprint, these all things we are going to map, we are going to configure in SAP. How to configure? It's a matter of practical. So once I start practical session, you will come to know how to configure. Now, second thing is unit test. I'll tell you guys, if you configure something, we are going to configure those things for client. Let's suppose some configuration we are doing like for invoice posting. So there are certain invoice posting means, before that we need to have some configurations related to account payable. Invoice posting means I'm talking about account payable, in the sense vendor invoice posting. So we have to do certain configurations before that. Now After doing configurations and all, we have to perform testing also. We have to check whether it's really working fine or not. So whatever testing we are going to perform, that test is called unit test. In the sense, one by one, unit by unit, we have to do configuration. At the same time, we are performing testing part as well. We are going to perform testing part as well. So we have to perform testing also. So, say for example, you have done some configurations and performed testing. So that is called unit test. Now, second is integration test also. Now, what is this integration test? I'll just explain. So, integration test means, guys, there are certain, I'll just explain here. Okay, integration test means there are certain process in which two or more than two modules are involved. Generally, two modules are involved. That process name will be P, let's suppose P2P process. If you talk about P2P process, client simply says that we are following P2P process also, or we are having P2P process also. In P2P process, in a simplest way, generally there are other activities also, like let's suppose if you know we have to buy any product right now in market. Let's suppose you have to buy a laptop or computer. So what is happening, simply we'll visit the store, some 4 or 5 stores we are going to visit. We'll collect certain quotations from every stores, and then we are going to compare which one will be the best deal for us. Once we decide, then we are going then we have to buy that laptop from, let's suppose, once I decided that okay, HP is having better deal for me compared to other, so we'll buy, we'll pay the money and we'll buy. But if you talk about organization, say for example Tata Motor, if Tata Motor has to do the same procurement, they are going to do this procurement in bulk. It means they are going to give order of 1,000 piece, maybe 1,500 piece, because this will be for their employee. So in that case, what will happen? First of all, they will invite quotation from different this outlets, different outlets. So here in P2P process, what will happen? First of all, Tata Motor is going to invite or ask certain quotations from a few different outlets, like Sony will be there, this HP will be there, HCL will be there, Deloitte will be, sorry, Dell will be there, and other computer like Acer and all. So let's suppose they invited quotations, and based on that they are going to decide, okay, now we are going to give this order to the Dell computer. So they will create a PO, purchase order, and that PO will be sent to the Dell computer, and based on those PO, what will happen, Dell computer is going to deliver the product along with the invoices. Now, so guys, here what will happen, there are certain activity which is taking place, I'll tell you. So in P2P, the first activity is creation of purchase order. Starting from creation of purchase order, PO. Then once we send the PO and all, then what will happen? Dell computer is going to deliver the goods. So that we have to record, that is called goods receipt in SAP language. At the same time, Dell computer is going to deliver invoices also. Maybe let's suppose the goods is going to be delivered somewhere and invoice is going to be sent to their head office. So invoice also will be recorded separately. That is called invoice receipt. And then finally payment will take place. So see here we are having four activities: purchase order, goods receipt, invoice receipt, and payment. Now this is called P2P activities, P2P process. Now this purchase order and goods receipt, PO will be created by purchasing team of Tata Motor, and goods receipt also will be done by the same. Even a store department is also comes under purchasing itself. So what is the counterpart module of this what to say purchasing? That is module, material management. So guys, PO is the part of module. GR also comes under module itself, but invoicing is the part of finance, and payment is also going to be done by finance module itself. So see, it's a one single process which is having total four activity: creation of PO, posting goods receipt, then invoice receipt, followed by payment. So these four activities are there under one process, and in this four activity, the first two will be the configuration for first two will be done by consultant, and configuration for last two will be done by FI consultant. So what will happen? Consultant will do consultant will do configuration for PO and GR separately, one by one. They will do this configurations. One by one, what will happen? They will do the configuration, and they are going to perform testing also. So just try to understand, guys. I'll tell you here. So what will happen if consultant first he is going to do certain configuration and he is going to create a purchase order. So once the purchase order is created, tell me guys, will it be which test? Will it be unit test or integration test? Reply. Of course, it is unit test. Why? Because individually he has done this configuration. First of all he has done some configurations and tested purchase order. So that will be unit test because he has done it separately. Second time, once again he has done something, some more configurations he has added, and then he posted a goods receipt also. That will be a separate UT. Likewise, if FI consultant also has done certain configuration and he posted invoice, and then payment also separately. So these all individual activity, they are going to individual configuration they have done individually, and then they have tested these all things individually, unit wise. So this will be a unit test. But what will happen now? They have to perform this testing together in a flow, in the sense, first of all, consultant. Now once they tested all these four activity individually, unit wise, one by one, then consultant find, he's confirmed that okay, I'm able to create PO, I'm able to post goods receipt also. FI consultant has also done their testing, that invoice receipt and payment also he or she is able to post. So now they are going to sit together. Okay. Now both consultants are going to sit together, and then they will perform this testing in a flow. In the sense, consultant will create a purchase order. With reference to that PO, they are going to post a goods receipt. With the reference of same PO, FI consultant is going to post invoice receipt. Okay, and then finally is going to release the payment. So once this activity is done in a flow, then this testing is called integration test. Integration test means, guys, here there is integration of two module, involvement of two module, and FI. In the same way, we are having order to cash process also. That is the part of sales. This is the part of purchase. So order to cash, in that billings and other things will be there. Okay, once I teach you guys FISD integration, that time I'll let you know. I'll give you a detailed explanation about that. So right now I have just explained P2P process. Why? Because I have to make you understand integration test. So what is this integration test? Integration test means the test which consists of, or which involve two or more than two modules. So here if you talk about P2P process, that is called integration. That is the part of integration test where these four activities are there. So the configuration need to be done, and testing also will be done or need to be done. So once the configuration is done, they are going to perform this testing part in a flow. And once this is done, in the sense, once they are able to generate PO, they are able to post goods receipt, invoice receipt, and finally payment is generated, it means this integration test has been, that is finished successfully. So once the integration test is finished, then what is happening? Till now we have done all the configuration, all unit test has been confirmed, in the sense that is performed, and integration test also we have done. So whatever configuration and testing part is there, this everything is finished from our side. It means we have done with the realization phase. In the sense, in realization phase, now we have done all the activity, configuration we have done, and testing part also we have done. In the sense, we have whatever the things we have committed uh, in blueprint, these all configurations mapping we have done in SAP, and we also tested also, that is working fine. So once this testing part is completed, then we are going to move to the next phase, that is called final preparation phase. So now we enter in final preparation phase. So what is happening in final preparation phase, guys? What activity we are going to perform in final preparation? Okay, so in final preparations, these are the activities: user acceptance test, that is, in short form it is called UAT, cutover activity, and user training, and remaining this preparation of training manual and configuration documents. So I'll explain one by one. Okay, so in final preparation, what exactly we are going to do? So the first activity is user acceptance test. Now guys, till now the thing is like, whatever configuration is there, that is done by Wipro consultant. Let's suppose if Wipro is going to implement this project, so their consultant has done this configuration, and the consultant itself has done this testing also. But the problem is, if we have done the configuration and we have done the testing part, and if we are going to say to the client that okay, now it's working fine, so are they going to agree? They will not agree. The reason behind is they are not going to release the payment until unless they are going to check or test from their end. The reason behind is, of course, we are human being. Even if we have to purchase a goods worth of or any item worth of 10 rupees also, we are not going to trust the shopkeeper. First of all, we'll take that product and we'll check from each and every angle, and then we are going to make payment. So even in case of this configurations also, in case of this SAP also, we have performed the testing as of now. So what will happen? Now client will say that whatever testing is done, that is from your end. Now we are also going to test. We also have to test and we have to check each and everything whether it's working fine or not. So the same thing they are also going to perform, in the sense the same testing one by one will be performed from client side also. So who is going to test? Of course, core team members, whoever the CTM is there, he is going to test. So now the testing will be performed, the same testing will be performed by core team member, in the sense users on client side. One by one they will test and confirm, and once we receive confirmation that from their side that it's working fine, once they confirm that it's working fine, it means they are agreed for whatever configuration we have done, and whatever the end result is there, they are satisfied with that. But still there are some other activities which need to be performed, guys. Configuration part we have done, testing also we have done, testing is performed from our end also, we have done testing. Even user side also they have performed the testing. Whatever testing has been performed by our side, in the sense consultant side, those testings are unit test, integration test, and the same testing is being performed from their side also. That testing is called, since that testing is performed by user, so that is called user acceptance test. Generally it is user test itself, but user acceptance test means they are going to test and they have to accept also, they have to confirm also. That is why it is called user acceptance test. That is called UAT. Now, after this user acceptance test, if they are satisfied, even if they confirm also, there are other activity called cut over activity. What is called this cut over activity, guys? Keep this cut over activity in your mind, because it's a pretty important question, will be asked by people, and 95% other people are not able to explain what is this cut over activity. So now I'm going to explain this cut over activity. The second activity we are going to perform is cut over activity. Now, so what is called cut over activity? Generally, cut over activity, guys, I'll tell you. Let's suppose Tata Motor is using ERP called Tally, and now we are going to implement SAP. So Tally they are using from 2001, and SAP implementation is going to take place in 2017. Tally they are using in from 2001, and SAP we are going to implement from 2007 in 2017, and maybe in August, September, October, or any particular month go live will happen. So from 2017, or maybe from like March of 2018, they are going to start using this SAP as per their deadline, whatever deadline they have given. So let's suppose from 2017 itself they are going to start this SAP. So if they are going to start SAP from 2017, this SAP will be quite blank, in the sense there is no any previous transactions available in SAP. Now they have to enter all these details, like fresh details they are going to enter. But the problem is, if they want to see certain comparison report, certain types of comparison report, then what will happen? Comparison report in the sense, like let's suppose their total expenses or total revenue. If they have to see, like, what is the percentage growth in their revenue, how they are going to get this growth? Because in SAP, previous datas are not available. Previous datas are there in Tally. So this comparison is not possible. Percentage growth we can calculate only if we are having data belongs to the previous years. That's how we can say, like in 2010, let's suppose this much. Let's suppose in 2010, say for example, I'm going to compare from 2010, then their total revenue was 100 million. Then in 2011, it is 110 billion. Likewise, you know, likewise here, every year there will be certain increments and all. So likewise in 2016, they are having, let's suppose, 150 million, and 2017, once they started SAP, they will be having 160 million. So how they are going to count the percentage growth? The percentage growth in terms of revenue, they can count only if they are having this previous data. Then they can say, okay, this much, this 2010 this much, this 2011 this much. So how much percentage growth? So they will compare this, and then whatever the this 10 million is there, what is the percentage of 10 million? Let's suppose that is 10%. So they are going to say that, okay, now there is a growth of 10% in our revenue. Now there is a growth of 11% in our revenue. Now there is a growth of 9% in our revenue. So how they are going to compare this growth and all? If they are having the previous data available in the system. But the problem is, till 2016, all the datas are there in Tally, or till 2000 17, let's suppose July, all the datas are there in Tally, because till July we have used Tally, and now August onwards they are going to use SAP. So in SAP, from August onwards, whatever data are there, that is going to be entered. So these kind of several reports client required, those reports are only possible if the previous data from 2001, whatever the data was there in Tally, if those data are available in SAP, then only it's possible to calculate these kind of reports and all. So what will happen? Client will say that I need the previous data which is available in Tally. So what we have to do, that activity is called data upload activity. Okay. On the other word, this data upload activity is called cut over activity, guys. If somebody asks cut over activity means data upload activity. We are going to fetch data from Tally and we have to upload in SAP. So guys, tally in the sense whatever this tally become old ERP and SAP is new ERP. So whatever the old ERP is there, that is called legacy system. The old ERP will be called legacy system. Okay. So tally is called legacy system. Now what will happen? So in cutover activity, generally cutover activity is nothing but a data upload activity where we have to fetch data from legacy system and going to upload in SAP system. It's pretty simple. Now fetching data means we are not going to take data, we are not going to extract data from tally, because you can be expert of SAP, you are not expert of tally or any other. Suppose if they are using PeopleSoft, if they are using any customized ERP, we know nothing about that. We don't know anything about the ERP which they are using. So who is going to bring this data? In cutover activity, what will happen? Simply will share a template. Simply will share a template to the client. Template means I'll let you know what is this template all about and how to prepare the template, also how to upload the data. Also there will be a separate class on that, so don't worry. Once I start practical session, I'll clarify each and everything, how this template looks like, how to prepare the templates. Okay, so if you guys have done this practically, then you are going to be very much confident on this. So these all thing I'll show you guys how, what to do and how to do and why to do. Okay, so right now we have to understand theoretically first, and once you're able to understand theoretically, then practically also you'll be having more and more clarifications. So now here in cutover activity, what we are going to do in cutover activity, we have to upload the data upload. This is a data upload activity where data will be taken out from legacy system. Legacy system is the old ERP or the previous ERP which is being used by client. So data will be the data will be taken out from legacy system and going to be uploaded into SAP system. So this is called cut over activity. Cut over activity is nothing but data upload activity or data migration activity also. Data migration means what? We are migrating data from legacy system to SAP system. So it's a small technical word. If it is, if you add in your mind, you will your profile will be unique compared to other candidates. Okay, so cutover activity is nothing but data migration activity. Instead of saying data upload, just say data migration activity. Okay, so migrating data from legacy system to SAP system. So this activities, how to do that, I'll explain practically. Then you'll be having a better a good, you'll be having good, like a better idea if you perform this practically. So that is later part. Once I start practical session, and that too in the middle of like after completion of almost 50% of the configurations and all, then or 60%, then I have to cover this topic. So one by one, step by step, I have to cover these all things. That will be covered later. So right now I'm explaining project phases, guys. In that we are in fourth phase. That fourth phase is called final preparation. In final preparation, what activity we have done? We have done user acceptance test. It means UAT. And then UAT is nothing but the test performed by user side. And then we have also performed cut over activity. What I said, cut over activity means data upload activity or data migration activity where we are going to migrate data from legacy system and going to upload into SAP system. How to upload, that is the matter of practical, that will be covered later. I'll let you know what are the methods to upload and how we are going to use this, what is your roles in that, everything, all the explanation will be there practically. Now, so once these cutover activities are performed, once we have done with upload activity, then what will happen? Now everything we have done, still. So the thing is like we are expert of SAP, but client side, their users are not expert of SAP. They don't know anything about SAP. So what we have to do? Now we have to train them. We have to provide end user training. Training means doesn't mean that we are going to train them how to configure certain things. We have to give end user part training in the sense how to post the invoice, how to post any petty cash related transactions, how to post payment, and whatever other activities are there, that is called end user activity. So end user training in the sense whatever the client side, client's employee, in the sense employee of Tata Motor, these people will be called end user. You people are consultant. So end user training means employee of Tata Motor. Of course, we have to train them. We have to make them understand how to use this SAP. Now, of course, Tata Motor is having huge number of employees, so it doesn't mean that we are going to train everybody. Not at all. We are going to train a few people only, and that too will just inform our CTM core team member that guys, you do one thing, just take this training from our side. You can invite two or three, or few more person from their team. Just come three four, a group of three four or five people, and then we are going to train only this group of four or five people. Now group of four or five people means if you are a finance consultant, you are going to train people from finance team only, and we are going to train all the activity relevant to or related to your finance. So these four or five people will be coming, and we have to train those people. We are going to train those people, and once they take this training, once they complete the training, then they are going to train the remaining of their teammates. Okay, we are not going to train all 100 or 200 people. If in finance team there is a huge team, mates will be there, huge number of employees will be there, maybe 100, 200, 150 and all. So we are not going to train everybody because people will have lots of different queries and all, they keep on asking. So instead of giving a huge class, better to invite four or five people from finance team, including the core team member. We are going to train them, and these people are going to train their colleagues. Okay, so this is called end user training. Then preparation of training manual. Now of course we have to prepare a training manual also. It will be your obligation to prepare this training manual. The reason behind is if you don't prepare this training manual, then what will happen every time this core team member or whatever their remaining, four or five people who has attended this training, they'll keep on eating your brain that I forgot this step, I forgot that step. So what will happen every time you need to assist? So instead of being tortured by their calls and all, it's better to prepare a training manual and hand over them. So that what will happen? We have given them training and we have also handed over a training manual. If they are having any further queries and all, then what they have to do will simply say that, yeah, you do one thing, just refer this training manual, because already we have given a document also. In that step by step, all the details are there. Okay, and then at last, configuration document. Configuration document, what will happen? In configuration document, generally there will be a requirement from client side that Guys, whatever things you have configured, just prepare a document and hand it over to us. Because I'll tell you guys, this may be asked by clients. Sometimes they may not ask, but most likely everybody asks for this configuration document. What will happen? Clients are also very clever. Sometimes they will think, okay, just ask for this configuration document, what they have configured and how they are configured. Whenever in future, whenever their employees are having time, they will also try to refer this document and they'll try to learn something. If their employee got some better ideas and better knowledge and all, that is going to be beneficial for them. Maybe in future, if they are looking for support from any IT companies, because once they started using SAP, it doesn't mean that they are going to use this independently. After that also they need support from any IT company, because post implementation, if error in any error or any problem is going to take place, then who is going to help at that point of time? They are not the expert. So that's what they'll say, that you share the configuration document. Also their employee, maybe they'll refer or they'll do something later, whatever. So the thing is, we have to prepare a configuration document. But most likely, guys, the document, it's a very simple document we are going to prepare, and that too, we are not going to maintain the flow, in the sense like sequence we are not going to maintain. Generally everybody do like this, because simply we'll take the screenshot and small explanations we'll give, and then we are going to hand it over to the client. So even if they refer also, they are not going to understand anything. Okay, so once again they need our help. After go live also they'll need our help, they'll need our assistance. So for that, again, they are going to sign another contract, that is called support. Okay, so that I'll explain in the next slide. So configuration document means, till now whatever configuration we have done, we'll prepare a simple document, and that also we have to hand over to the client. So now guys, whatever the activities were there here, user acceptance test, cutover activity, end user training, and preparation of this training manual document and configuration document, and we have handed over also. It means we have given our final touch to the project. All the final activities were there, we have performed, and now SAP is completely ready to use. So the moment we have performed these all activity, we have done with the fourth phase, and now we are going to enter to the last phase, that is called go live and support. So nothing will happen. There will be a date which is already announced initially itself, that on so and so date client wants SAP should be, they want SAP to be, that SAP should be ready to use. So before 2-3 days itself, we have done with our all activities. Now we are going to wait for that date, and on that particular date, system is ready to be used. So that particular date is called go live date. From that date onwards, people are going to use SAP. Now, whatever their legacy system, in the sense previous ERP, so-called Tally or Oracle or PeopleSoft, whatever is there, these all are going to be the part of history, and SAP, from that date onwards, they are going to start SAP. So that is called go live. So go live will be done on a particular date, and from that date onwards, people will start using SAP. Once go live is started, then of course they need support from our side, in the sense it could be Wipro, Infosys, Accenture, because once the go live is started, implementation project is finished there itself. Now the project has entered in support phase. So guys, as I have explained earlier in types of projects, so if the project has entered in support phase, support is a different project. Once again, they have to enter into a different contract. It could be possible that this support project they are going to give to Wipro once again, or maybe they can invite a different client, different IT company, Infosys, TCS, Accenture. So for support, once again they will be having a separate discussion, they'll be having a separate bargaining, and then they're going to hand over support to a different company, maybe, or maybe the same company. Most likely initial support they will be looking for from the company who has implemented, because we are having more and more idea about about their business processes, because our consultants have spent more and more time. So for support, what will happen, they are going to uh, pay some different amount, and certain negotiation will take place, and certain deadline will be, certain time period also will be there. Tata Motor will say that, okay, you do one thing, you give us support, every annum we are going to pay, every year we are going to pay 1 crore rupees, 1.5 crore rupees, depends upon the size of projects and all, the size of the client. This negotiation will happen. So once the go live is done, then after, client will be looking for support also, and support will be given by same organization or other organization. That is depend upon the client. So guys, that's all in this project phase, or so-called ASAP methodology. Now, if anybody is having any question, ask me one by one. Okay, the first question is, blueprint is made on or before go live? I'll tell you guys, that's what I said, that we are going to perform activities phase wise. So whenever we enter, like the first phase, it's going to be over at kickoff meeting. So once the kickoff meeting is done, then we are going to enter in blueprint phase. So in this phase itself, we have to prepare this blueprint. So of course, before go live itself, yeah, go live is like, once we prepare blueprint, still we will be having around 4 5 months for go live date. So long before of go live, we have to prepare this blueprint, and we have to get this what sign off. Because if you don't have, the blueprint is not approved, then based on what we are going to configure, what activity we have to map. Of course, based on blueprint itself, we are going to configure all those things, whatever we have committed in blueprint. So whatever things we have committed, first of all, in blueprint, we have to show these all documents, blueprint documents to the client, that see, these are the things we are going to deliver to you. Now you give your agreement, in the sense, are you agreed? Just see this blueprint document, and if you feel that, okay, whatever things we have specified, this is going to meet your requirement, then only they'll agree. And once they agreed, they have to give the sign off. So of course, blueprint will be made long before go live. Okay, that will be in the second phase, blueprint phase itself. We have to prepare, and we have to get the sign off also. The next question is, in support, can client hire independent SAP consultant instead of inviting tenders from IT companies? Of course, 50-50 chances are there. So guys, I'll tell you. The thing is, like, as long as Tata Motor is new for this SAP, maybe initial first year, second year, third year, fourth year, they are going to take support from any IT company. But what will happen after 4 year, after 5 years, even they will be also having lots of idea. They'll be having lots of ideas and all. So now their management will decide that, here, instead of spending huge and huge amount on this support, why not to make our in-house support team? Why not to construct our in-house support team? So what they have to do for that, it's pretty simple. Yeah, there are lots of consultant available in market. Simply they Tata Motor is also having a team of HR. So what they'll do, first of all, they are going to hire a project manager from market. They'll just find out the resume from Naukris and all, and they'll hire a project manager, and then project manager is going to somebody who is having experience of this handling the projects and all. Even for support also we will be having a project manager. Manager's requirement will be everywhere, guys. Without leader it's impossible to handle the team. So they will hire a project manager, they will hire a senior consultant, anybody, and that person is going to construct his team. So they can hire, they can outsource the consultant, and they can prepare their in-house team. So most likely, almost all big companies, so many big companies are having their own in-house support team. Okay, like Colgate is there, you'll be having Videocon, you'll be having Panasonic, Reliance is also having their own support team. So of course they can hire consultant on their payroll, and they can prepare, they can construct their own support team. That is called in-house support. That is called in-house support, and whatever team is there, that is called in-house support team. Next question, any testing team will be there? Guys, testing team, of course, for testing also there are certain tools, different tools will be there, but the thing is like this scenario is quite different. And of course, uh, you know if any things are there in bulk, in that case, like of course testing team will be a different team. But generally, of course, there will be certain profile available in the market for testing also, but there is no much career, there is no much growth, because again, if you talk about testing, only few people are going to be part of testing team. Then it's not like you are going to do certain analysis and all. Simply the same activity you have to perform on daily basis. If you are going to test some invoice posting, or you are going to test some different activities and all, nothing you are going to do. Simply one activity itself you have to perform. You have to take some samples, and you have to test. You have to take some sample, you have to test. So it's a kind of data entry once again. So testing team generally, if you talk about in general, if you talk like, then most likely consultant itself is going to perform testing from their end, and whatever the client side, initially they are going to perform a testing that is called user acceptance test, and after that no testing is required. Then they will be having internally, they are going to hire a person for testing purposes and all, that is called for audit purpose. So some guys are going to check the quality of their activity, or whatever the data they have posted and all. So that is, indirectly you can say auditing and all. So internal audit team will be there, those people are going to take care. Okay, so the next question is blueprint. They'll provide the requirement of the business. Of course, blueprint consists of requirement of the business, whatever the client requirements are there, those all things will be there. Whatever their existing processes are there, these all things, whatever the things they required, these all things we are going to specify in blueprint, guys. And based on blueprint itself, we are going to do the configuration. Whatever deliverables are there, those only we are going to configure. Okay, so it's pretty simple to understand. Whatever deliverables are there, those we are going to configure. And what those deliverables are there, those deliverables we have specified in the blueprint. So we have to follow the blueprint. Yes, if you're talking about any separate team will be there, of course separate team, testing team will be there. That is a quite different profile, guys, and there will be certain different cases that I'll explain you guys. Certain topics are there in future. Once I cover those topics, then I'll explain in which cases separate testing team requirement will be there. because if I explain it will take lots of time. The next question is, do client demands the IT company to only put SAP certified consultant on their project? How important certification is? So guys, I'll tell you, there won't be any such kind of stupid demand from client side. They are not going to demand the consultant should be a certified or non-certified, or the consultant should be a CA, MBA, ICWA. They have nothing to do with this whole thing. It's we who is going to decide which consultant, in the sense project manager is going to decide which consultants are going, because client expect the end results. They have nothing to do who has done, whether it is performed by senior or junior. Whatever things we have promised to the client, we have to deliver. Whether project manager is going to make it deliver by the help of a junior consultant or senior consultant, that is his headache. He has to deliver all the things which we have committed with the client, and within the specified deadline. Okay, so don't worry that only certified consultant. I'll tell you guys, I already explained to everybody that I have done my certification in 2016. So yeah, if there is a requirement of certified consultant, then I would have not started my career. I have started my career from 2008. Okay, so I'll tell you guys, there is no these kind of things that somebody should be certified. Till now only 2% of the candidates or 3% of the entire consultants are certified consultant. What about remaining 97? Forget about 97. Let's suppose even 5% also. What about remaining 95%? It means these people are not going to be a part of any implementation or support project. It's not like that. Okay, very less people are a certified consultant. Whether you are certified or not, it doesn't matter. The thing is, if you are having knowledge, that knowledge is going to help you guys to survive anywhere and to perform, give your performance anywhere. So everybody, whether it is client, whether it is your project manager, your team leader, whoever is there, these people are going to be happy with your performance, not with your degrees, your certificates, or any other kind of certifications. Okay, so just the certifications are not required, guys. See you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.